Get out. I want to talk about this. It's just a basic question of, can you survive? Okay, so I was listening to this channel and they was talking about how people how we have basically taken up all the oil, and we're running low on oil. This is a world perspective. Uh, and For those of you who might not be aware, this is what the whole when Obama was in. This is why they were going after Iran. Not so much because of they were building nuclear weapons, which I think that any country should have nuclear weapons. But if you say that and they have an issue against us, we have the largest silos of nuclear weapons there is. How can a country not defend themselves? So, you're like, okay, they're the enemy of us. So why would we allow them? It's like, how do you allow them to have nuclear weapons? Everybody should be able to defend themselves equally, so people have a perspective on that. But nonetheless, what Ahmadinejad did was they had a blockade on the Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz is a waterway. So America was like, nah, you can't do that, because if you do, you blocking our oil. You block our oil, we're not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? All these automobiles and all this is going to stop. This is why there's such a rush on trying to get, you know, um, my phone cuts off on me, my bad. This is why there's such a rush on trying to get, things to run off of air. And I actually have an idea for an engine, actually. Y'all know I'm scientifical too. If you don't know, then you need to go through some of my 2000 videos. I talk about science all the time. Um, but nonetheless, so it's like, can we survive off of, you know, no oil? And to me, the answer is absolutely. We can convert our cars. Now, here's the thing. There was a guy, he was a young guy too, he was like 26. He figured out how to get 100 miles. Now this was back in the like 70s and 80s. He figured out how to get 100 miles out of like a full, sedan with a V8. And he was like, we're only getting 14, 15 miles to the gallon in the city and 16 on the highway. He was like, no, you can actually get 100 miles out of it. And and he showed him how to do this because he thought he was making the world a better place, and they knocked him off. You know what I'm saying? He's gone. They got rid of this guy. Uh, so there are, I mean, when you look at it, it's money. It's money oriented. So they were just like, how much money we'd lose if everybody did what you did? And he had a real crude setup, the way he did it, but it was very fascinating. You can see it on, YouTube. But nonetheless, so we can cut down our oil consumption, but we don't, because we keep pitching cars that need oil and gas to operate, and even our nuclear plants and all this other stuff. Like, we're going the wrong way. I keep talking about it because it's important to me that a lot of the energy that we're using, we don't even need to use it. And then people are talking about the collapse of, Western civilization. To me, it's almost, to me, I think a reset is on its way. But the question to you, the viewers, can you survive without a car, without your truck, without the use of fossil fuels? Can you do it? Because listen, don't say, "Oh, I can survive without a car," but you got to understand when that happens, you're no longer going to be able to go to Kroger's, which I'm going to now, the grocery stores. All the chains and the supply chains are going to stop. You're going to have to get out and get out here and hunt for your food. Like, we're not talking about some casual thing. We're talking about something that if it happens and it is well on its way. Let's say when it happens, we're talking about something that when it happens, you're going to have to change your whole way of life. It's not going to be, oh, I think I'm going to go out and hunt rabbits today. No, it's you either hunt rabbits or whatever is out there, or you're not going to live. And for you people who are vegans, you're going to have to grow your own food. And that's a whole nother issue because food just doesn't grow that fast. So you're going to have to learn agriculture and all this other stuff. And you're going to have to know it to survive. And if you haven't been following Western civilization, especially the European, Rome almost died off because of the Black Plague. But you know what else was killing them? The fact that wheat was not accessible to everybody. They were starving. Now that was one of the emperor's friends' problem, but it demonstrated how important wheat is. How important plants are. They didn't say the cows were all dying. They said wheat, meaning we can't feed the livestock. We can't